I wanted to talk to my black moms right quick, especially black single mothers. And the reason why is because, of course, as a black woman, I do see a lot of negative behaviors coming from black men, of course. Black men feel very comfortable with verbal abuse, mental abuse, emotional abuse. And part of this is because women are accepting this type of behavior or excusing this type of behavior. There are a lot of mothers out there, sisters, aunties, wives, who look at the behaviors of their husbands and boyfriends and fathers and uncles and whoever, male figures in their lives, and they see these men with this terrible behavior and they find excuses for this man, or they imply that somehow they were provoked to behave in the ways that they behave. And of course, every situation is a case by case situation, but for the most part, I believe that a lot of African American women are being treated so poorly because of African American women being comfortable with being treated poorly, or mothers seeing that their sons are out here not taking care of their children. They're seeing their sons being manipulative and controlling, and in a domestic violence situations, and they're encouraging their sons to do this stuff, or they aren't speaking with their sons about the negative effects or consequences of them doing these things. And then once their sons get arrested, or their sons end up, you know, doing whatever it is that they're doing, the women in their life will coddle them and lie for them, and just support this negative behavior. And when men see that they can get away with these things, where they can get away with being deceptive and abusive and vile and cruel to women, they see women covering up, basically pushing the stuff that they do under the rug, keeping their secrets and keeping all of the negativity in the behaviors that are detrimental to our community. Women are keeping this stuff in, and they aren't communicating about it, because of course when a woman speaks up about her being mistreated by another black man, or maybe she was abused, or maybe something as simple as he's not taking care of his kids, or he played me when we were married or in a relationship. A lot of times the way that other women respond to a woman speaking up about these things is weird to me, because not only are women being chastised when they speak up about the abuse that they are experiencing, but they are also chastised not just by men, but by women as well. So just being a woman right now, a black woman, the way that the world is right now, it's like very hard for us, and it's kind of scary to be vocal, because then when you're vocal about it, you become a target by not just men who are toxic, men who are abusive, men who, don't have any self-discipline, or they weren't taught to, have self-respect. You also have to worry about women who are also like pick me's, and will find any type of excuse to enable a man, because they want to be accepted so bad by men. They want to feel like they are understanding, they're taking care of men, and of course, like I said before, I was the type of woman that would go out here and just try to be the best version I could be for a man. I was so pressed to be married, I was so pressed to be what a man wanted me to be, that I was putting up with so much domestic violence, so much verbal abuse, mistreatment, and disrespect by men that I was involving myself with, because I wanted them to accept me so bad. So to some degree, I do understand why some women are like that, but that's why I'm making this video right now, so I can encourage women to not be that. You don't need to be accepted by every man. Not every single man is worth you needing to be accepted by. Like, some men are just low down, dirty men, and a lot of times it has a lot to do with their upbringing. I'm not going to say it's because they don't have a father figure, because it's some mothers out there who are amazing mothers, and they have raised these very successful, very positive, very loving, very caring sons. So I'm not going to say it's every single mom, but there are single moms out there who the fathers have abandoned them with children, and they're walking around here raising their sons by themselves, and so they look at their sons like their sons could do no harm. And anytime someone comes to them and says, hey, your son is out here doing X, Y, and Z to women, he's playing women, he's lying to women, he's beating women, he's doing whatever, what she does is go around and make excuses for his behavior and covers up what he's done, because that's what they feel like mothers are supposed to do. Mothers are supposed to always have their sons back. See, for me, I'm not that woman. Let me tell you something about my son. When my son gets to the age where he's going to have his own relationships, his own, marriages, his own whatever, I'm always going to say to my son, it's important that you understand something about your mother. One thing you need to understand about your mother is I have respect for women. Okay, I have respect for myself, and what I'm not going to tolerate is seeing you disrespect another woman. So no, you're not going to be the guy that's out here abandoning children in the street. Okay, no, you're not going to be the guy that's out here disrespecting women, calling them out their name, acting all belligerent and foolish, getting drunk, getting high. That's not going to be the type of man that you're going to be. I'm not going to accept nothing like that. That's unacceptable, and I'm going to let him know that's unacceptable from the very beginning. I'm not going to put him in an environment where, those types of things are something he can learn. You understand? Because a lot of men learn that, and that's why they become that. And the one thing I always told my daughter, right? I always told my daughter this. I told her, I said, there are many things that I could put up with. There are many things I could put up with as your mother. I will accept you for who you are to the day you die, and even after, for eternity. I will always be your mother, and I will always love you through everything. But one thing I'm not going to do, one thing I'm never going to be able to tolerate, is if I see you abusing somebody, and mentally, physically, emotionally. If you kill somebody, that is it. I said, if you kill somebody, I suggest you don't tell me, because I'm not going to be the one that's going to cover up your murder. I'm sorry, that's not going to be your mama, all right? I'm not doing it. That is not who I am. Y'all know about that girl that just passed away. She was filming herself with her boyfriend in the car. Like, they were in the car, and he was like loading his gun, talking about how he was going to shoot her. And I don't think she was taking him serious, because the relationship had been abusive between the two of them for an extended amount of time, according to like her Facebook page, the post on her Facebook page, and according to her family. They were inside of this abusive relationship, and they kept breaking up over and over and over again. And they actually just moved in together. They had only been in a relationship for about a year, and they had just moved in together. And here they were in the car. It was her birthday, her 20th birthday. And they're in the car, and she's, doing a little Snapchat video, singing her songs, and she's in the driver's seat. And then suddenly you see her pan over to her boyfriend, and he's loading a gun. Now, mind you, before he even started loading the gun, he's calling her out her name, calling her a bitch, all this funky stuff, having this attitude, and basically talking about how the bullets inside of the gun really gonna pierce her ass, right? And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, why is she like recording this? That's so weird. But then I was like, wait a minute, am I really going to blame this girl for why this man had this behavior like that? Like, am I really gonna sit here and like enable this dude and make it seem like, well, she deserved to get shot simply because she was sitting here filming him? No, because that for that to even have entered my mind, it says a lot about what I'm thinking a lot when it comes to men. I used to be the woman that made excuses for them and felt like I needed to change my behavior. It wasn't until I got older that I started realizing that a lot of the stuff that these men was doing, it didn't matter, whether or not the experience was provoking them or not. Let's say, for instance, like a lot of people are saying, well, she put herself in that position. She was filming him basically tell him he was going to shoot her. Why didn't she just run and get out the car? That's you giving an excuse for a man to go ahead and continue to have this damn demented ass behavior. Listen, this is a woman, right? This girl was a woman who took care of this man. He didn't have a job. She gave him a place to live. She took care of him through and through. She loved him deeply. So what? They had couples arguments. I don't care what they was arguing about. There is nothing that serious on this planet for you to kill another human being over. You don't take somebody's life and you lose your life for the rest of your life over something as foolishness as a little couple spat. It doesn't matter what they was arguing about. Clearly they was in the car together, so it must not have been that bad. They'd been in a relationship all of this time. They had been living together. So what's really going on? What could possibly have made this man want to kill his own girlfriend on her birthday? It was her birthday, y'all. So when I think about this story with this girl, and I think about just all of the things that men get away with. I mean, men get away with murder, and I'm telling you, it's because men are in supportive of other men, right? And then women are also enabling these men as well. Because see, the one thing that I'm not seeing a lot of men do, I see a lot of people talking about this story about this girl, but what I don't see a lot of pro-black leaders doing is talking about this specific thing. Like these black leaders, these pro-black leaders, they're walking around here talking about all of the things that they do for the community, but then as a black woman, when you reach out to one, they don't necessarily help you or have that same energy when it comes to supporting black women. And I made a video about this the other day because I was reaching out to the national chairman of the Black Panther Party because another black woman was saying to me how supportive he was of black women. And when I reached out to him, the disrespect that came from him was unbelievable. So I made a video about my experience with him, and I'm probably going to try to post that, maybe tomorrow or something, and get into, not as into detail, but I did want to warn women, like, these men out here are claiming to be supportive of the black community, but what they are is pro-black man. They're not pro-black family or pro-black people. What they are is pro-black man. So if a black man is being harmed by a white man, it's a problem. Or if a white man is trying to attack anybody inside of the black community, it's a problem. But if a black man is like doing the same behavior, like maybe a black man is, like I said, abusing a woman mentally, emotionally, physically, that's just seemingly okay. But let it be a white man doing this. Let it be a white man doing this. And I've seen this over and over and over and over in media and when we're dealing with each other, when we're having conversations about each other. And for many years, I made videos on my YouTube channel about how black men and women should treat each other, because the way that black men and women should treat each other, basically, it forms the way our community is. So the way that our community is not necessarily because of non-black people. We just happen to not be supportive of each other. We're fighting each other. We're not having solid families with each other. And so when I sit here and I do my single mom life videos, I'm pro blended family. I'm pro family. I feel like in order to fix a lot of the situations that's happening inside of the community, we have to go out here and get parenting classes. We need to go out here and get financial literacy classes. We need to learn how to deal with each other, whether we are single parents or not, whether we've been divorced or not, whether we've never been married at all. We still need to come together as a community and do some repairing and some healing. So when I'm speaking my message and I'm up here saying, hey, it's black men out here that's treating women bad, or it's black men out here that's not taking care of their kids, I'm not saying this stuff because I'm trying to attack men or bash men. What I'm saying is men have to stop doing this, and there has to be other men out there who are better men, who are leading by example, and also seeing other men doing a lot of negative, detrimental behaviors towards women and checking them on it. Okay, just check them on it, because first of all, I feel like as a woman, I need to be talking to other women about our behavior, and men need to address other men. And what I feel like is it's not enough men out there addressing, it's not enough black men out there addressing other black men. Like a black man will see another black man being disrespectful towards a black woman, or being bad and cheating and lying and manipulating his own wife or mother of his children, and these men aren't saying anything. They are high-fiving these niggas like, hey, go ahead and do your thing. You're doing your thing. You out here, you juggling all these women. Like, that's like a plus of being a black man, or that's an accolade to go around here and sleep around with a whole bunch of women, or have a whole bunch of kids by a whole different bunch of women, or however many. Like, to me, it seems like the more men abuse women or sleep around with women, the more they are celebrated. But what everybody else isn't celebrating, like what black men aren't celebrating, is men being fathers, men being good husbands. They consider men being nice men or men being responsible, they consider that simping. Or they consider men being the type. Listen, remember when you were in high school, right? Or maybe in middle school, and there was like this saying that the girls would always ignore the nerds and then they would date the guys who were the bad boys. I think the reason why that was probably the dynamic was because of the way men treated other men. Like, men were always boys, or always picking on the nerds, picking on the boys that wasn't necessarily the most, masculinist, or they weren't the athletes, or they weren't, losing their virginity. These boys were picked on, right? And so I think as we've gotten older, I don't know if that's still happening with our youth. And honestly, it probably is, honestly. But now that I'm older and I like nerds then the same way I like nerds now, and I see how, like, I cannot stand the term simping. Like, that shit annoys me. I see when people make fun of somebody for being nice. Like, when guys used to come in my comment section and be nice, it would be other guys coming to the conversation and be like, why you being so nice to her? Why you simping? Why you doing blah, blah, blah? Like, we supposed to be mad at her, and we supposed to treat her disrespectfully, and we supposed to call her out her name. And I'm like thinking, like, why is it that black men want to team together and have negative behavior? Is that like a bonding tool? Are y'all trauma bonding? Like, that's the shit I don't understand. Why is it like a form of bonding to disrespect women together? Your own women. Like, you have to understand this. And a lot of men say, hey, it's a lot of pressure for me to be respectful towards all black women because it's not my, woman. I'm not saying marry every single woman that's walking down the street. I'm not saying go out here and give every single woman the world. What I'm saying is, every single woman that you walk into, have a level of respect for her. You don't have to be disrespectful and verbally abusive towards a woman who ain't doing nothing to you, just because you see another man doing it. When you see another man disrespecting a woman, speak up and say, yo, it ain't even, you ain't got to do all that. Like, this is extra. You don't have to do all that. Like, what is up with that? I don't see enough men doing that. What y'all do, what black men do, is encourage other black men to go out here and be disrespectful towards women they may disagree with, women they may be judgmental of. And honestly, to me, I don't think anybody's in any position to be judgmental of anybody, because everybody has a past, everybody has made mistakes, everybody out here having sex, everybody out here having children, everybody out here being in a relationship and getting married, everybody out here expressing their opinions, everybody out here having an attitude problem at some point, everybody out here being X, Y, and Z things. So we can't really judge each other in this way to where we can look at somebody else and think we're better than them. And I see that happening a lot. Like, I see people, especially black people, do that. It's like a black person will have like this behavior, especially online, and then they'll judge somebody else for having that same ratchet ass behavior. And it's just like, how you gonna sit here and judge somebody else for something that you do on the regular? Simply because you don't like somebody doesn't mean that suddenly the same behavior that you doing has now suddenly become not okay when you've been doing it this whole time. So to me, I don't know. I feel like as black people, we kind of enable, like black men and women, we enable the leaders of our own community by allowing them to do things. We're allowing our husbands and our boyfriends and our brothers and our friends and stuff go out here and do some of the most terrible things to women. And we've seen it in our community so many times. Like, this is not falling on some ears of some people that have never experienced what I'm saying. If you black, you've experienced this. You've seen a woman being disrespected by another black man for no apparent reason at all. You've seen it. You've seen men go out here, beat their woman, speak to their woman disrespectfully, We've seen a number of murders. There's an increase of murders and missing African American women as time goes on. It just becomes more and more of a thing. Right now, from what I understand, in Detroit, there is a serial killer out there raping and murdering black women, and every time I see a black woman that has been found after she's been missing, it's like the women look identical. This man is going out here and he is just seeing a pretty girl, and I don't know what's happening with him to make him not be able to, get the type of woman he wants. I don't know why he gets some type of, I don't know. It's some type of brokenness inside of our community that we're not taking the time to go out there and heal. And anytime someone says they feel hurt, or they feel scared, or they feel like they don't know any better, people inside the black community will trash this person for having feelings, for having emotions, for saying that they don't know. No one wants to be chastised and ridiculed for having emotions or feeling some type of way. I think, I don't know, even something like mental health. Like mental health, like a lot of people make fun of people who might have mental illnesses, or who have went to counseling, or who have went to therapy. I think part of your mental health is self-care. It's just like if you were going to the doctors for cancer or leukemia or lupus or something like that. It's the same thing. Your mental health is just as important. It's your physical health as well. So when we're sitting out here and we're buying lace front wigs and handbags and shoes and makeup and cars and chains and damn Jordans and all types of stuff, man weaves and all of this shit that we don't need, we still need to make sure that we're putting forth the money and the energy into repairing ourselves from all of the brokenness that's happened to us inside of our childhoods or inside of previous relationships. Like when people try to rush me to get over my situation that happened to me 2 years ago, they make it seem like the shit was 20 years ago and I should have been got over it by now. Like the trauma of me being abandoned in a hotel while I was pregnant is not something I'm supposed to sit here and try to heal over. I'm not trying to bring that brokenness into a new relationship. I can't do nothing like that. Like that's crazy. Then I'm gonna end up on a damn episode of Snap because I be done broke some dude neck for sitting here lying to me or doing the same thing my son's father did. To me, I feel like the people inside of the black community, they don't want to go through the healing process because the healing process can be ugly sometimes. And I said it myself, like there were times where I was ugly, and I mean publicly too. I was getting on the social media like, fuck all y'all. You know what I'm saying? Because that was part of the growth process. It was ugly, but I had to get over my healing. And a lot of times when you have to face your feelings, you have to face what you're thinking, you have to face what you're going through, it could be hard. A lot of people like to shove it deep down in the back of their mind and they don't want to bring it back up, but it's back there festering. It's back there festering, and it's making your situations worse and harder to deal with, and it's breaking up all of your friendships and your families and your business relationships, just because you hide it and you push it in the back and you don't want to talk about it or you don't want to discuss it doesn't mean it's not going to show in your behavior, in your relationships, and your job. Eventually, it's going to start seeping out. You got to get rid of that residue. I don't know what happened with this boy when he was younger for him to decide to just suddenly kill his girlfriend on her 20th birthday, but something had been festering in that guy. And sometimes I want to blame it on the video games because he was an avid video gamer. Okay, he was playing video games like crazy. And to me, I think when you play video games, especially something like Black Ops or something to where you're killing something or you have to defend something, maybe it's like a military game, or maybe it has something to do with, something that has to do with some type of violence. I think to some degree, you are replaying this in your mind over and over again, and it starts to manifest in your different reality. Because think about the reason why people play video games to begin with. They play them to get away from whatever's happening in their real life. It's the same thing with the internet. When you get on the internet, right, you taking a break from what's happening in your regular everyday life. It's almost like a different segment. It's like you chilling at home, you had to go to work, you had to clean your house, you had to take care of your kids, whatever it is that you got to do. And then you get on the internet and it pulls you away from all of the responsibilities and all of the things that you got to do, and it just clears your mind. And so that's what I think people are doing with video games. But at the same time, when you're an avid video gamer, I think that stuff starts to mess with your mind. Like the gamer who ended up committing suicide, who was a YouTuber. His name was Etika. Etika had a mental illness. And I don't think playing video games helped at all with his healing or his growth process, because it's constant negativity. Whether it's fun or not, you still have to think what you're actually doing. Now, I'm not saying that's the only problem. It's a number of things. It's not just video games that's harming the black community. It's the media, it's the music, it's the movies. I don't even have a TV in my house. You understand? I haven't had a TV in my house in forever. So it's a number of things that's happening inside of our community that's making our community the way that it is. And I just want people to understand that it shouldn't even be us versus other races of people. Of course, other races of people are out here being, racist towards us and negative towards us. But what's more important than anything else is how we're treating each other, how black men and women are treating each other. And we really have to repair that situation, or our race is going to deplete. Honestly. And to me, I feel like there are always going to be minorities. I mean, even if we mixed race, even if we start dating outside of our race and we start dating white people, Asian people, whatever the case is, there will still be people of color all over the world, because color is just what it is. It's more people of color than anything. So I don't think our race will be depleted to a T, but I do feel like it won't be just African American. You understand? Like, African American won't be the only thing anymore. I think within generations, like generations to come, like maybe 100 years, 200 years, something like that, I think African American won't be a thing. I don't know why I think that. I'm probably going to try to make a video about it, but like I said, I try not to talk about my race or race issues on my channel, because people get very passionate, and when they start trying to express their opinions, they tend to add an insult, accusation, or something, assumptions, and then they start attacking each other. And that's why I wanted to discontinue discussing race on my channel. When you're trying to bring social change, we're talking about the livelihood of a lot of people. So a lot of people tend to get offended. They tend to get, upset, and then they start insulting people because they feel like in order for their point to be valid, an insult has to be attached to it. The shock and awe of their comment, so they can get more likes off of their comment, or so they can get more attention. And I hate that. I don't like that. So I delete that out of my comment section. My moderators are not playing. And I see people out here complaining about my moderators, deleting people or blocking people. I'm going to tell you like this. Express your opinion without being so emotional. Let's bring logic into my comment section. We want to provoke thought. We don't want to sit here arguing back and forth. I cannot deal with that. I dealt with that many years on my YouTube channel, and I literally cut that out. I cannot do the disrespect. I'm not going to argue with anybody. If you have something that you think and you have something that you want to express as far as this topic goes, please keep it on topic, and please be clear with what you're trying to say. It's okay to have a debate, but when people start disrespecting each other, it just gets out of hand. And I'm trying my hardest to use my platform as a place to unify and for people to come together. Yes, I'm very supportive of single mothers. Yes, I'm very supportive of women. I'm a women's rights activist. That's what I do. But what I'm not going to tolerate, right, is disrespect from men. And I had received a lot of disrespect within the past couple of years from men on this platform, and I just need for it to stop. I will not allow it. And it's unfortunate that that happened to me, because I used to be always so supportive of men. I used to make so many videos supporting black men, and literally black men have verbally, mentally, emotionally abused me, like online, offline. And it's just so sad to see that these men aren't supportive of women, aren't supportive of the women who are trying to help them succeed and move forward. And so, of course, when I'm posting content like this, where I am talking to single mothers, I do want women who don't have children to also be careful what you say as well, because a lot of times women who don't have children, you guys could not even fathom, like understand what's happening with women who do have children. You'll never be able to understand it until you have them. You become a different person once you have them, and you'll be able to understand. But for the most part, I just want people to be respectful of each other, black men and black women, and just everybody, just be cool in my comment section, because my moderators are not playing. Like, you would be blocked and you would be deleted, and I don't want nobody hitting me up later on like, yo, my comment was deleted. Well, what was you saying? Like, don't play innocent, because my moderators are not out here on some type of power trip. They're not out here trying to harm nobody. They're really out here looking at, they really have my best interest for heart in my comment section, because they really see me get stalked, harassed, bullied, lied on, all types of stuff. They've seen it. They've seen the negativity, and that will not be tolerated in my village. That will not be tolerated in my community. What everybody else wants to do with their community is all right with me. Don't bring that stuff here. It will be deleted, okay? Anyway, I appreciate y'all watching. Make sure you put what you think in the comment section below, okay? But let's be mature with it, all right? Have vision and stay focused, y'all. Namaste.